it's if you're an attorney and you're listening to this, it's more important than ever to produce quality content of the type you talked about, like asking and answering, that type of thing. So you want to
Mhm.
talk a little bit about, like, if you're a law firm, what kind of content do you want to be putting out now, and how are you attaching it to things like directory profiles?
Yeah. So it's a good reference of, the last 2 decades, every year, any marketing team was just trying to figure out how to trick Google. Like, I think that was the
Hmm.
yearly goal. Google changed the algorithm. I can't tell you how
Yeah,
many times I heard Google changed the algorithm. Let's figure it out. And you'd have
right.
all these companies and farm bots and like, let's get you all these backlinks. And backlink is king. And the word juice used so much. Like,
Google Juice.
if we never use the word
Wait, I
juice,
probably have a T-shirt. No.
if we never use the word juice ever again, I would be more than thrilled. So I think authenticity and brand is important. Like speaking to things that is unique and you actually have a voice on. Everyone has heard the same speech in some type of regurgitated fashion. And that's one of the issues too right now is that if you're using AI to help you create content and it's just, you're being very basic with what you're using to create. Like I want to talk about what it means to run for corporate law in the new tax structure, but
Yeah.
give it for for a general audience. What's going to produce is you're not actually really showing what makes you stand out as a lawyer. You're not showing it makes your brand stand out. I would ask yourself, what is authentic? What brings your brand some authenticity? What brings
Yep.
your actual voice some uniqueness? Even before we started this, I'll just for those behind the curtains. I was talking to Jared and he said, listen, we could talk about best lawyers all day, but people don't really want to hear a 30-minute commercial. I agree. I love best
Yeah.
lawyers. I've been here 21 years.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about best lawyers all day. What's authentic to me is talking about AI and content and products and how law firms are being found. Like that's interesting to me. We happen to have a directory that helps that, but what's interesting is the assumption on how people do it. Because you look at like LinkedIn and everyone's putting the same post over and
Oh
over
my
again.
God.
Everyone's
Yeah.
writing the same thing over and over and over again. It's not authentic. It's not your brand. It's not standing out. And it's not catching people's attention. So I would say, what are you trying to accomplish? What's the strategy? Other than we want to make more money and get more clients. Like, if you put
Wait,
if
you
you
do?
put that to the yeah, I know, right? Listen, put that to the side for just a minute and say, like, what made you a lawyer? What made you stand out? What skills do you have? What makes you interesting? And then how can you write about that in a way that is relevant to your audience? So understanding your audience, understanding what makes you stand out, and then not going back to these backlink farming places and actually trying to
Yeah.
find places you can connect with it. There's third-party sites that have, I mentioned at the top of this, third-party sites that have actual citation value, whether you're putting on
Yes.
profiles, where you're putting it in news articles or partnerships with different media outlets, finding places where people read, people care about, and come for some source of information. That's the most important. Authenticity. The most